First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX and WIBX950.com.
Angelo and Andrew are both great at coming up with, the Name That Tune deal. They're really, really good at being able to listen to a song and say, oh, I know who that is. All right, who gets it first? Name this artist.
It's I
think Corey Feldman, is it?
No, it's
not Corey Feldman.
Oh, I can picture him. I'll embarrass myself. Never mind.
You would.
I'm embarrassed.
You shouldn't be, because it's a very tough one, and we're gonna leave that alone for a little while.
Okay.
Let it settle in. Kind of like when adding garlic to your sauce. You got to let it simmer and saute a bit, and then we'll give you the answer at the end of John's list here this morning. Mighty John, the record guy, is the foremost expert when it comes to vinyl records, especially in the rock and roll world. He is the man, and he's on the line right now. Moneymusic.com is the website. John, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
Good. I'll let you close with this. After you do your list, all right?
All right.
The name of the song and the name of the artist. Okay, so we start out here today with 10 records here in the month of July that are right now worth more than $100.
Well, number 10 we give to the Blues Image, their album Blues Image, up to 125. Of course, they had a big hit of Ride, Captain Ride. And that's on their second album, Open, which is also up to about $100. So,
All right.
Whoa.
Good money for the Blues
Open
Image.
is up to $100?
Yes.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah, I've got a copy of that I bought for like 10, and it's really clean, and it's the first press.
Well, good.
Didn't know that. Didn't know that.
That could be worth $100. You know, the funny thing is, John, Angelo will never sell any of his records. That's the problem.
He'll steal a catalytic converter, but he won't
that's right.
sell a record.
All right, next up on the list.
Well, Connie Francis had a lot of hits in the 50s and 60s. Big one was Where the Boys Are, that 45 with its picture sleeve, up to $150. Dave Clark 5, feeling glad all over. Do you have the album? Look at the cover. If the cover pictures the Dave Clark 5 with their instruments, $25. But if it does not show the instruments, just the Dave Clark 5, $150.
Wow. And isn't it interesting, the variations of covers and album artwork and that sort of thing? It's really something that is kind of gone by the wayside today.
Yes, absolutely. Little things mean a lot when it comes to records, and so there's always something different about a particular record that makes it worth more money.
All right. Next up.
How about the Contours? They had a top 10 hit in '62 with Do You Love Me? They did it again in 1988, top 10, because of the movie Dirty Dancing. Their album, Do You Love Me by the Contours, currently up to $300.
Wow.
Rolling Stones, big hit for them. I think their first number one, It's All Over Now. That 45 with its picture sleeve up to $400 right now. Ricky Nelson, a lot of hits in the 50s and 60s. A big one for him, number one, It's Late. If you have a copy or find a copy on a 45, up to $25. But find one on a 78, Ricky Nelson, It's Late, $500.
Wow. What year was that?
1958.
1958. Okay, so just nearing towards the end of the 78 records.
1960 was the last year for 78.
Okay, didn't know that.
Yep.
All right.
Neil Diamond, very first 45 for Neil Diamond, Clown Town. Current value up to $500. The girl groups are very collectible. Doo-wop is very collectible. And when you have a girl group singing doo-wop, you get a big collectible. They were known as the Chantels, had a big hit called Maybe. If you have the album We Are the Chantels, again, look at the cover. If it shows a jukebox, $250. If it does not show a jukebox, just the group, $2,000.
And again, my assumption is that's far more rare than with a jukebox. Okay.
David Bowie, 1974, a 45 from the album Diamond Dogs, Rock and Roll With Me. No picture sleeve, just the 45 on RCA, up to $3,000. And the very first 45 for Genesis, The Silent Sun, 1968. No picture sleeve, just the 45, $4,500.
$4,500. Let's go back to that little trivia that we had. Name that tune.
I'm trying to show you
Genesis.
the tiny stone that hides from
Really?
Silent Sun. Yeah, that's the.
you see.
Mike in Utica just guessed that. I
Did
didn't
he
know what
guess
was
that?
talking about.
I never. It sounds almost like something like the Mamas and the Papas or something like that. Not Genesis, right?
Well, it's Genesis, of course, with Peter Gabriel, not
Right,
Bill Collins.
right. And I do think there are. It's a very divided group of people. Genesis, of course, pretty strong with Peter Gabriel in the 1970s, early 1970s. But there are those people. I love Genesis, but when Peter Gabriel was in the band, I don't like the Genesis with Phil Collins. So there is that divided group. But I would have to say that in terms of pop culture, Genesis with Phil Collins had to be far more popular.
I would say so, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. You also give us a couple of bonuses. What do you have?
Well, everybody thinks Bill Haley in the Comets started rock and roll with Rock Around the Clock. But before Bill Haley was a rock and roller, he was a country artist. Bill Haley and the Saddlemen had a 78 called Deal Me a Hand. Current value up to $2,000.
Okay.
And a big one, Northern Soul, a very collectible form of music. That means obscure, really obscure soul records from the 60s and 70s. Big bucks. 1967 on King Records. Junior McCants, Try Me for Your New Love. Current value for that 45 up to $18,000.
$18,000.
Holy cow.
Pretty wild.
What's so special about that? It's just nobody else has it?
Well, again, Northern Soul, very collectible. And what that means, in the northern part of England, about 15 years ago, there became a tremendous demand for obscure soul music records released in the U.S. in the 60s and 70s. So the more obscure and it's soul music tends to be big bucks.
You mentioned Bill Haley and the Comets, Rock Around the Clock, very big. And that valuable record, which was country from early 1950s. Listen to this. Bill Haley.
Give me a hand, I want to play. I understand the loser must pay, but deal me a hand and I'll play the game anyway.
Well, it's another one I would never in a million years guess. That's Bill Haley of Bill Haley and the Comets.
Right.
Just, crazy. But
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock.
okay, you know that. All right, good stuff. If people have questions on the value of records, 45 or 33 RPMs, even 78, any of that vinyl stuff, they can reach out to you via the website.
MoneyMusic.com, you can find the value of any record you have from 1902 to the present day. MoneyMusic.com.
All right, great stuff. We appreciate it, John. We'll do it again real soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Yep.
All right, Mighty John, the record guy.
So who sent you the message? Was it Rick in Utica or Mike in Utica? Because Rick in Utica also commented via the app.
Saying that was Genesis.
That was Genesis.
Yeah,
he said it was Genesis something. He's sending a couple messages
Well,
here. He said this
Genesis,
is their first album and it didn't sell well because
a completely different sound too. It had that mid to late '60s sound, not the '70s sound that you know from Genesis, even without Phil Collins and with Peter Gabriel.
From Genesis to Revelation is the album's name. Their first album, and it didn't sell well because record store owners would place it in the religious music section because they didn't know better.
They didn't know what it was. Crazy.
This podcast is sponsored by Ramp. Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/easy. Ramp.com/easy. RAMP.com/easy.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.